There's Aaron Pico from St. John Bosco. Well, I'm a modern day guy, so I'm gonna track his ass down. Back with Aaron Pico. Aaron, you answered a question in there about the Bellator Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You said AJ's the guy that you would say was probably gonna take it.
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna meet in the finals, though? So who do you think it goes down to?
I think either Darrion Caldwell or Patricio Pitbull.
Okay.
But if Darrion Caldwell fights Patricio, I think Patricio will win. In my opinion, I think it will be Patricio and AJ.
Are you keeping an eye on what Chick Congo did? He was excluded from the Grand Prix for different reasons.
Was he?
But guess who got a title shot because he was quietly mowing people down?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the same thing? Like, hey, let them handle their business. You get back to where you want to be 100%, and then you take a couple matches while this unfolds. Bam, that's when you strike.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I definitely want to I really want to fight for a title, but in due time, sometimes I've rushed a little too much, and I've taken fights that were a little risky. But yeah, maybe that might be the case. Slowly start to build my career back up, and I mean, who knows? I might be fighting for a title, 4 or 5 fights from now. But I'm in no rush, honestly. I'm in no rush to fight for a title. As of right now, it doesn't really make sense for me to fight for a title. I'm young in my career, and a lot of people don't realize is when you fight for a title, and every fight after that is for against the number one guy. And I need to really start thinking about health and what makes sense and what doesn't. So I'm happy. We'll go with Ali, and when the time is right for me to fight for a title, I will. But as of right now, I'm in no rush. What Bellator's like? I pretty much say it's the same thing. Like, obviously UFC, Bellator, pretty much. I mean, the only thing is Bellator, you can wear your sponsors, and UFC, you gotta have Reebok. And if I'm being completely honest, I always say the UFC's a little bit bigger than Bellator. I mean, if you ask anybody on the street what is MMA, most of the time they're gonna say UFC. And for the fans that really know, they'll say Bellator, and most people know Bellator. But yeah, I always say they have just as good fighters in Bellator than in the UFC. In some divisions, I feel the weight class is better than the UFC's. But it's healthy competition. I always say it's good. You gotta have UFC. You gotta have Bellator. It's good for the fighters.
By how many touchdowns is Modern Day going to beat St. John Bosco this year?
No, they're not gonna beat Bosco. Hell no.